Good morning. My name is Edward Czerwiński. I am Professor Emeritus of Jagiellonian University and Senior Medical Director of Futurance. I'd like to tell you the story of 30 years clinical trials in Poland, what was also part of my professional career being orthopedic surgeon already 52 years. We started in 1984 in the situation when in Krakow there was no single bone densitometer, so we hired one from Professor Lawrence. This was a single energy densitometer on forearm. And in this densitometer, we have to put the arm in the water. Then we have a dual energy, which doesn't need water. And the old study was on the basement of the orthopedic department, and in 1 year we made a survey of 40,000 people in Krakow. Next, having the first clinical trials, we earned some money and we purchased dual energy single lunar and later hologic, and that was fun, and we are still with the hologic. With the property, and we found just falling apart building in Copernica 32. It is how it looks in. It is how it looked in 2001. I don't know if it's a clever idea. However, we managed, and this is the situation which was in 2005, and nowadays Krakow Medical Center is the part of FutureNotes. Coming back to the title, I wish to talk at the very beginning the earliest clinical trials, then pioneers in Poland, afterwards drug research on bisphosphonates, SERMs, denosumab, bone-forming agents, and also currently denosumab biosimilars, and try to sum it up. You go to the internet, you will find that the first description of clinical trials is assigned to Prophet Ezekiel, 562 BC, and it is related to the story about siege of Jerusalem by the Nabuchodonosor II from Babylon, who conquered Jerusalem and took away Jewish elite, craftsmen, teachers, and priests, to improve his story. It is 1,022 kilometers, so it took 60 days on foot. This is the road. And he wrote that when Nabuchodonosor II included Jews to the army, what was a privilege, there was one boy, very clever, Daniel, who proposed to Nabuchodonosor II the clinical trial means divide the soldier to two groups. One will eat the royal diet full of meat and wine, another vegetarian diet. And then when the soldier exercises for 10 days, however, it was proof that the soldier of vegetarian diet showed superior fitness than those on the royal diet. And this was the first description of clinical trials. A little bit more recent, 1062 in China, Song Su Atlas of Material Medica describe the beneficial effect of ginseng decoction on the runner who compared to two runners, there were only two of them, but the one who drank the ginseng was have the better performance. In 16th century, Ambrose the very famous surgeon wrote that dressing wood with eggs, yolks, rose oil, and turpentine gave better results than the oil alone. And you will find very often that also the first clinical trial was those in 1747 by James Lind, and scurvy caused by poor diet, a huge problem for sailors who have to be on board, say, 3 months, and they have no fridges, so you can only have fresh water, rocks, and salted meat. No, and fluids, of course. It is said that between 15 to 18, scurvy killed about 2 million of sailors. And it is written that in 1497 voyage to India, Vasco da Gama, there was 160 sailors and 100 died from the scurvy. In the diary, he wrote that the sick started to smell like rotting flesh, and the corpses have to be thrown out to the sea. And Lind believed that the sour diet would prevent scurvy. So in 1714, Commodore George Anson, in voyage around the world, he used substitute for sour fluids called vitriol, sulfuric acid, alcohol, sugar, and spices. He had 8 ships, 1,852 crew members, and only 188 returned. 997 deaths from scurvy. So that's scurvy is why, and scurvy. James believed that the poor diet, rotting food in the body, bad waters, hard work, and damp atmosphere. And his experiment was he had 5 diets. One put the eel to the cider, to wine vinegar, a half pint of seawater, 2 oranges or lemon, and almonds of paste made of garlic, mustard seeds, radish, and myrrh. And only those 2 on the oranges improved dramatically. And in 1794, Royal Navy 23-week voyage to India on the ship HMS Suffolk. Captain Peter Raynor, under the pressure of Admiral, ordered daily intake 2/3 and 2 ounces of lemon juice mixed in drug, and nobody died from scurvy. And in Poland, in our primary school, all of us have to read and talk the poem written by poet Broniewski, who wrote on Baryński, was the predecessor of Polish Communist Party. So Baryński died in prison and cited Broniewski poem, "Gums eaten away by scurvy and legs swollen and dead." That was the description of scurvy. Why the scurvy is so dangerous? Because vitamin A is absolutely necessary for the whole body metabolism, for carbohydrates, change proteins, fats, formation of connective tissue, and many others. And Albert Gergi in 1921 was given a Nobel Prize for discovery of the vitamin C. And that's the story. And now we go to recent times. Pioneers of clinical trials in Poland, there's no doubt that Dr. Sawicki, Professor Badurski, and Professor Warrens were the pioneers. This is the photo taken in 1994. Then we have a help of many prominent investigators. Like 1987, we had Delma and Harry Genant. 2018, Simon, Canis, Papopoulos. Registered in 2018, and recently 23, Cummings and Ferrari. So I'll go to details now, talking about bisphosphonates, SERMs, denosumab, and bone-forming drugs. So in Poland, of course, the first clinical trials were on cancer, and is not the subject of my presentation. I am talking only on those osteoporotic trials where I have been involved. And the first in 1984 was the denosumab, but more, and Axiom was approved by the FDA in 1998. I will show you some table, and in the brackets will be number of patients included, and here will be the primary investigators in the alphabetic order. I couldn't change another way to do it. So it was huge trial, 6,000 more patients. Then we have area of strontium. Ranelate was badanie SOTI. It was trial SOTI, and then Trophos. And for some years we had strontium on the market. All of us was very happy to use it. Give incredible increase of bone density, but unfortunately, it was 2014 was taken out from market because cardiovascular complications, and also trials which were on osteoarthritis were turned down. Now we have SERMs. First was a tibolone, similar to SERM, of course. It was a study on 4,000 patients, and lasofoxifene very successful, 8,000 azoxifen generation, and bazodoxifen. Bazodoxifen were very excited because it was said that will prevent the proximal femur fracture, but unfortunately this was not true, and the study was stopped. Tibolone had no registration to osteoporosis because of cardiovascular complication. However, it's still on the market from other indication, but some more restriction. And bazodoxifen, you have the termination of the study because there was a lack of efficiency on the proximal femur fracture. 1997, the era with bisphosphonates turned out, and the study we were involved. It was on ibandronate daily, 2.5 milligrams, bone trial for 4,000. Then was another ibandronate bone for 3,000 almost. Then was ibandronate 1 month IV and zoledronic acid given 1 a year, and zoledronate and adanacatib. What I can say that those medications are still on the market. I mean, zoledronic acid gives result comparable to, I think, denosumab. Abandronate is on the market 29 years and is efficient and very, very cheap. The same with zoledronate, and this graph show you the efficacy of this medication on prevention of the secondary fracture after the previous one. Calcitonine K is a very strange story. We had this trial in 2005, and it was one of the worst in my experience due to a lot of complications. I recall I was horrified seeing a butterfly-like bloom on the women's faces, and we were just the one single center who reported a lot of complications. Other didn't. I will not comment that. So we stopped that. And when 2 years later, another company came down to me and proposed a cathepsin K as well. It was some different cathepsin. A huge study which was popular in Poland for 16,000, and this cathepsin K adanacatib was in the market, but also was stopped. I am not proud of the publication Morpha skin reaction. It was one of 2 cases published, and this our women had changes in her lungs. And as we know, after many reports on the first, there's unclear links because cardiovascular ACE was withdrawn from the market. It was a really catastrophe. Then in 2004, arrived denosumab, and we were almost in every study on denosumab, from Freedom 7,000, Extension 4,000, denosumab May, denosumab had to have the ibandronate, and we were pretty sure that we got the best ever medication, and perhaps it could be. However, when we stop giving, we have the rebound effect, which take away our results. BMD drops to the initial level. It could be, however, prevented, but not fully, by zoledronate, and perhaps zoledronate is the medication most often advised. In 1998, we have bone-forming drugs. I mean, teriparatide, done by Professor Marcinowska, abaloparatide in men, some centers. In women, patch, we did this study, was rather not successful. Then we have, of course, romosozumab, means frame and arch, and we enjoyed the study very much, almost not complication, and wonderful results, as it is now very successful in the market. Because in 2020, patent protection of denosumab by Amgen expired, so currently every center in Poland does the study, and some of them also reach FDA approval. So in fact, we will have 18 biosimilars of denosumab next year. There are the 42 centers listed in alphabetical order as well. In Poland, we completed 8 protocols in 102 sites, and Future Meds had the biggest number of patients, 642 in denosumab, and altogether since KCM in 1987, we have 1,700 patients randomized in osteoporosis. It is the Polish team only. Future Meds is a fast-growing company around the world, in Europe mostly, and States in the future. So being a principal investigator, if you receive such a letter, feel some trembling, you open the envelope and you read, but it is written that we did not observe any objectable condition. So that's a really joy to do this, and satisfaction as well. I suggest to you a report in English and Polish, of course. The Industrial Clinical Trials in Poland, published in 2021. And it is documented that we have 900 sites, 58 are private. The income from Poland is 1.2 billion, and total will be 8 billion, 9,000 job positions. In the year 2000 was 25,000 patients. Last year's 220,000. And we are the 10th country on clinical trials in the world. We have first place in Central Europe and first place in the osteoporosis trial. So coming to conclusions, trials on osteoporosis in Poland started in 1994, these 30 years, and currently we have 42 sites who does it. We practically tested all the medication like SERM, strontium, ibandronate, tibolone, zoledronate, denosumab, teriparatide, abaloparatide, and romosozumab recently. Do not all clinical trials, and as company wish, and we wished, despite initial good results, they were withdrawn from the market. Strontium, ranelate, calcitonine, adanacatib, tibolone, not for osteoporosis, and bazodoxifen. This study was terminated. Clinical trial became more and more complicated. ICF from the beginning have 2 pages, now there's 60 or even more pages. So it is easier and more efficient to do it as a MOS. We are seeing growing as a MOS. Poland is the world leaders on clinical trials. We are 10th center in the world, and the income for the country is 3.5 billion. Currently, most of sites conduct on denosumab biosimilars, and in the second year, half of the year 2050, will enter the market. I am aware that I didn't include every information on the history of clinical trials in Poland on osteoporosis. So if any of you have some more information, please send to my email, czerwiński27@gmail.com. This is also historical photo. Thank you for your attention. I hope you like it. Thank you so much.